What is up, Virgo? How are you all doing? What is good? What it do? It's time for your weekly check-in. We're going to see what's happening with y'all in the first week of October. October week 1 for Virgo. So it's a weekly check-in, so it's just a short, quick, general, energetic overview. If any of you need a personal reading, you can always go straight to my website, tarotwithrich.com. I do have a link for that right down here in the description of this video. It almost seems like there's something I'm supposed to be blabbing about, but I just don't remember what it was. Oh, well. All right. Let's jump into this. Let's see how the energy's looking. First week of October, Virgo and the person they're dealing with. How's the energy looking with this situation? Oh, shit, dude. Straight out the gate. Straight out the gate with the death card, bruh. Whoa. 3 shuffles. 1, 2, and 3. Three of Swords. Could have been a third-party situation for some of you, but a lot of unhealed heartbreak, I think, on both parts. Ooh, okay. A lot of unhealed heartbreak on both parts, but I do think that this person is planning for a reconciliation attempt at some point. Planning for it. And it almost kind of feels like they're planning it. Yeah, that's what I thought. They're planning it with confidence and certainty. So, you know what I got to ask when the 3 of Wands comes out. And I was already thinking about this card before it came out. Have y'all done this before? I always got to ask that when the 3 of Wands comes out. Because, like I said, that indicates that this person, for some reason, is very certain that you all are going to be reconnecting. Like, they're not wondering if you all are going to reconnect. In their mind, they are very confident and very sure that you all are going to be reconnecting. Now, why the hell would somebody be so confident and sure that you all are going to reconnect? Unless you've done this before. Have you done this before? Or maybe they just got a big old ass goddamn head and they just think they're the greatest thing since sliced bread. And who wouldn't want to come back to me? You know, I don't know. But I don't really think any action is being taken. They're giving you the silent treatment and planning and waiting and wondering when and how you're going to respond or react to that. All right. Some of you dealing with a Scorpio, could be a fellow Virgo for some of you. I have Gemini here. Let's see their deepest feelings, energies, and intentions. What are their truest, deepest feelings, energies, and intentions? What's their energy look like in general? What kind of person are they? Are you surprised to see this, dude? Devil card, though, man. Queen of Cups. Some of y'all dealing with somebody that has some sort of addiction issue. I know that's not all of you, but for those of you that dealt with somebody with an addiction issue, if you're wondering, no, they have not gotten clean. Whoops. And when the devil card comes out in the upright, that tells me they've gotten worse. This is a hard one to call, especially for those of you who have been on and off with this person. it's not just limited to you, but especially if you've been on and off with this person, it's kind of hard to explain what goes on in the mind of someone who thinks that if I keep doing the same thing over and over and over, eventually it's going to create a different result. The only thing that I think I can say to explain this is in their mind, they believe that this will work if you do things my way. That makes sense? It's your fault. Oh, even if I was in the wrong, even if I cheated, it's your fault that I cheated. Even if I abuse you, you made me abuse you. If you would do things my way, this will work. If you would stop doing this, if you would start doing that, if you would do this way and that way and that this way and this that way, then it would work. And in their mind, they think that, that's going to magically happen that way somehow. It's a very, very delusional and narcissistic mindset, and I think they believe it with every ounce of their heart and soul. I think so. Could be a Pisces for some of you. I also have Leo, Taurus, Capricorn. Oh, I got Cancer hiding in there too. All right, it could be anybody. Those are just energies. Well, I think we got the outcome in the first spread. I don't really think a whole lot of action's happening here. Let's get the advice. What's the advice? What is the best advice for my Virgo family? Ooh, be careful. All I'm going to tell you is this person has not changed. Matter of fact, I think they've gotten worse. So you already know who they were. I think you already got a real good idea of who they were. If you haven't gotten a good idea of who they were, maybe some of you may need to repeat that cycle. I hate to say that and I hate to sound that way, but I've actually had to tell a couple of clients that here over the past couple of months. I had a few people who have been coming back to me for over a year asking the same questions about the same person over and over and over. And I keep telling them the same thing over and over and over. And one person said, should I reach out? And I said, yeah, I think you should. After a certain point, there's only so much I can tell you. The rest you have to learn through experience. You're going to have to repeat that cycle as many times as it takes before you learn. Then there was another one. I'll get this one. There was another client that told me, I didn't take your advice last time. I'm like, that's cool. But you don't have to take my advice. And since I didn't take your advice, what you said was going to happen, happened. It'd be like that sometimes, That's the way this works. And then they had the nerve to ask me, should I try it again? I was like, yeah, probably. I think you probably should. Probably, yeah. So I gave you advice and told you what would happen if you didn't take it. You didn't take it. And what I said would happen, happened. And then you're going to ask me if you should try it again? Yeah, you should try it again. Try it again 10 more times until you learn, So all I'm going to tell you about this person is this is a very service to self type of individual. Very much so. Very, very much so. This person is very, very bound and determined to get what they want. And they don't care what they have to do to get it. Nothing is beneath them. Okay? Nothing. They don't care who they have to lie to, who they have to manipulate, fuck over, steal from. They don't care. They don't care. This is the type of individual that will do whatever it takes to get what they want. Play dirty, lie, spread rumors. They don't care. So just know that going into it. If you do decide to go into it, don't say I didn't warn you. I'm not going to tell you to or not to, though, because ultimately you need to learn. I was explaining to a client earlier today that there's a difference between a lesson and a test, right? Think about school. You go through the lesson first, and then you're tested. So depending on where you are, some of you have already been through the lesson. Now you'll be tested. Once you're tested, you do one of two things. You either move up to the next level or you repeat the lesson. You see what I'm saying? All right, let's see how the energy's looking for the singles. How's the energy looking for the single Virgos? How's the energy looking for the single Virgos? Anything good coming in? Anything bad coming in? Anything coming in at all? Uh-oh, 6 of Cups reversed. Hang on. Ooh, really, really, really heavy, intense feeling of soul recognition. Oh, yeah. Speaking of tests, I think you're going to be tested. You will be tested. Now, here's another thing about tests. I can't tell you a whole lot, right? Because you can't really cheat your way through a spiritual test. But another thing that I think people fail to realize about a test is it's going to be very idiosyncratic and tailored to you. And it's going to tempt you. Oh, when you're tested, it's going to be tempting. It's going to be very tempting. But, that's why it's a test. I'm going to be tempted. Am I going to do the same thing I did last time? So really, really, really intense feeling of soul recognition because this person is a very near and dear member of your soul family. By the way, let me clear something up here. If people seem to be confused by this, that every single person that has ever or will ever make their way into your life and play any kind of role in your life whatsoever, the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between, every single one of them is a very near and dear member of your soul family. You know that, right? People ask me questions like, is this person soul family or someone I should let go of? I'm like, what? What? You think it's only one or the other? You think that your only soul family are the people who belong in your life? Oh, no. Oh, no. And matter of fact, your nearest and dearest members of your soul family very frequently can play the roles in your life that are very challenging. Very challenging. This is probably one of the hardest things to wrap the mind around. One of the hardest things to accept on the spiritual path is that all those people who have caused you all that trouble, that trauma, that heartache, oh, y'all are best fucking friends on the other side. Promise you that. But anyway, I don't want to trail off too far from this. This is going to be very tempting, a very intense feeling of soul recognition. Like you recognize this person, you've never met them. You feel like you've known them your whole life, you know, but horrible communication, horrible communication, mixed signals, you know, and at the end of the day, devil card. If you're not careful, it'll turn into just a sex-based connection. So some of y'all got an Aries headed your way. Also have Capricorn, Leo, and Taurus. Could be anybody. Those are just energies. But yeah, this person is a horrible communicator. All right. Well, see what kind of time we got here. When you're tested, that kind of messes up my flow a little bit when that comes through like that. So let's just go straight to the advice. What's the advice? I'm even a little bit limited on the advice I can give, too. Knight of Wands reversed. Do not reward inconsistent behavior. Do not make excuses for inconsistent behavior. Now, we're all humans. We all slip up from time to time. We all fuck up from time to time. When inconsistency starts to become a habit or a pattern, it does not take long for a cycle to begin. It doesn't take long for a pattern to form, right? You make a mistake once, okay, I got you. We're humans. I fuck up too. You make the same mistake twice, man, I'm kind of watching you. You make the same mistake 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. Now you crossed the line. You're not making a mistake. You're making a decision, right? Don't reward or make excuses for inconsistent behavior. Don't dump all of your energy into explaining to a person how to respect you. All we're looking for, honestly, to lay a solid foundation, all we're looking for is the simple shit, man. All the other nuance, love language bullshit, we can get to that later. In the beginning, we're looking for the simple shit. You do not have to be a fucking rocket scientist in love language and emotional intelligence to know how to respect a relationship like a common sense fucking human being. Right? Communication and effort. Communication and effort. Very simple. We all got one of these things in our pocket. Ain't no fucking reason why you're not communicating. And if there is a reason, explain that to me, please. Hey, I get it. Maybe you're not allowed to have your phone on the work floor. Okay, cool. Can you explain that to me, please? Because I would imagine when I want to be with somebody, I don't even want to take the chance on making you feel like I'm playing with you. I don't even want to take the chance on accidentally doing something that's going to make you take off running. So I'm going to let you know, hey, just to let you know, on Mondays, the big boss man likes to show up and walk around the floor, and we cannot have our phones on the floor. So on Monday, it's very likely that I might not be able to respond to you. Communicate that, right? When people, and I hear this all the time in my personal readings, dude. People go ghost on you for 2 or 3 days and then reappear like nothing happened. Fuck that. Nah, fuck that. Fuck that. So Yeah. Once things start happening in which tension is starting to build, voice your concerns like a calm, cool, collected adult. You know what? That'll tell you a lot about how a person feels about you. You know, if you express a concern, express your concerns and see what they do about it. Like if they're communicating a little bit funny or whatever it is, express your concerns. Now, what we're looking for is just the tiniest little glimpse of effort to help alleviate those concerns. At minimum, I'm going to at least explain myself. At minimum. If you express a concern, you know, and I feel like, well, maybe you're taking me the wrong way. I'm going to say, no. Look, here's what it is. And I'm going to break it down and explain it. And that's my way of saying you can rest easy. You're interpreting it incorrectly. This is my real intentions. So you don't need to feel that way. That's bare minimum. Something to help alleviate those concerns. If they don't do nothing. Nothing. They don't even try to explain themselves. They just let it roll in one ear and out the other. Or especially if they try to belittle you and shame you for it. You know what that tells me? That tells me you don't give two shits about how I feel. You don't care. Because I know how I am when I care about how someone feels. If somebody feels some type of way that's funny about me, I don't want you to feel that way. So I'm going to try to alleviate your concerns. I'm going to see if I can explain myself. Or, you know, if it's something really big and drastic, especially if it is the result of one of my character defects, you're at least going to see me try to fucking work on it. That's all we're looking for is effort. We're not looking for perfection. We're looking for effort. Because what we're looking for is, I want to see if you even care about how I feel. I'm not saying that you need to flip a switch and turn into my own imaginary, idealized version of who I think you should be overnight. I just want to see if you even try. Just try. If you don't even try, that tells me you don't give two shits about how I feel. And you know the philosophy I go by personally. Let them do whatever they want. If you let them do whatever they want, they'll show you what they want. When they show you what they want, respond accordingly. So if I express a concern once, twice, 3 times, and you just don't care, I'm not going to get all mad and start demanding that you alleviate my concerns. No. Oh, no, I can't demand that you care about how I feel. I can't demand that out of you. So when you show me that you don't give two shits how I feel, gotcha. Deuces. Bye. You ain't my person. All right, y'all. I feel like those were the messages that my Virgo family needed to hear. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. Thanks again for tuning in and playing along. Don't forget, the information for personal readings is all down here in the description. All right? I'm out of here now, y'all. I will see you sometime between now and the rest of all eternity. Stay blessed.